Hello, friends and beautiful people. Let me see. I want to get you guys set. Okay, perfect. Hi, everybody. It's me, Stormie Grace, and welcome to an absolutely gorgeous Friday. At least it is here in Colorado. So I hope you guys are all doing well. And it is time to talk about this big, beautiful full moon that's coming up in Virgo. And it's just going to be happening on Monday. I mean, we're going to start the week with a full moon energy, which it's like so productive and so changing. And so I hope that you've been able to bring some ritual or some kind of connection to the moons that are happening into your life. And this moon will be absolutely no different. It's going to be a really gorgeous time. So this particular moon that we've got going on is going to be our full moon happening in the energy of Virgo. This is going to be March 9th. Okay, so March 9th, wherever you're at in the world where March 9th happens for you, that's what we're going to see. This particular full moon is going to be at 19 degrees of Virgo. So make sure that you grab your chart. And if you don't have a chart, come see me and get one. Go pull a free one from astro.com, Cafe Astrology. There are plenty of free charts somewhere. But what you want to do is locate 19 degrees of Virgo energy. But you also want to locate 19 degrees of any kind of Piscean energy as well, because they'll be in opposition to each other. So you want to make sure that you see both sides, okay, and where these energies are going to interact for you. So let's talk about this particular moon. Now, first and foremost, if you are new to astrology or just starting to study, whatever it may be, the full moon, what's actually happening in the technical side of the astrology, the aspect, is that the moon is in opposition to the sun. So we see that the moon is at 19 degrees and the sun will be at 19 degrees as well. The sun is in the opposite energy at a full moon. So we know that the sun is over in the energy of Pisces. Now, we've just recently had a Pisces moon as well. So we'll talk about that influence as well. But with this technical opposition, what it does for us, it pulls us in two different directions. And opposition says this sign is going this way, this energy is going this way, and we're in a tension, we're in a pull here, right? So it's like my needs versus my wants. It's going to highlight your polarities. This can be internal conflict. It doesn't have to be anything external. It can very much so be an internal thought process that you're wrestling with. And we have a lot of that going on at this particular moon. So what it's trying to do, though, is it's taking you in two different directions. And the only way to really work with or to relieve an opposition is going to be to find the compromise in the middle. Right? How can you move these two polarities towards each other? And usually that has to do with adjusting some portion of our acting or some portion of our understanding around something. Now, this particular full moon is going to be in the energy of Virgo, which Virgo is our natural earth sign, mutable energy, healer of the zodiac. But because Virgo is also an earth sign and we look around, we've got a lot happening in Capricorn up here as well, right? Which is also an earth sign. So one of the first indicators that we get at this moon is that the shifts and the changes that are going to be happening are going to be in the material world, because earth signs want to live in the material world. They're very five sensory. Let's be in the material world. Now, if you got to watch the video about Mercury retrograde that's happening with myself and Gary Caton, what he talked about in the earth energies is that the earth symbol is this. So with earth energies, we go in and down. So even though this is an inwards type of situation that's happening, you're also with this moon looking for the illumination of how you can create a steady, structured, sturdy, something in the material plane, right? Now that moon that happened, in Pisces energy was talking about it in a very esoteric place, right? A place that's a little bit more watery, in between the worlds, where you're shedding something, releasing something so that it can transmute, but you're also trying to assimilate all of these things. And now here at this Virgo full moon, the light is going to be shown to show you how to assimilate those things into the material plane. So keep that in mind. This is material plane kind of living, okay? Now, Virgo, like I said, is our earth energy. And Virgo, the qualities that Virgo brings to the table are they have attention to details. Details, 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 right? And Virgos have a plan. Look, I'm a Virgo rising, okay? There has to be a plan. And the plan is to get us to the goal. Whatever it is we're trying to do, we're picking up the patterns and we're checking into the plan. A lot of times we talk about how Virgo is very nitpicky and can be very critical of details, of patterns, and things like that. And what it is that yes, they have an incredible amount of discernment over what is important, what's not important, what needs to be happening, what's going to get us there, what's not going to get us there, right? So at this moon, we get to have those qualities illuminated where the moon has got all of this bright luminary light, and it's going to say, hey, Virgo, take a look at this. What's important for this human? What needs to happen here? What's important for this business? Let's pick out and discern those details. So that is where we see this very nitpicky quality of Virgo energy being beautiful and so entirely useful for us. Virgo, if you've listened to your March horoscope, Virgo also shows us the way to get things done. It says, okay, you don't have to eat this entire thing right now. Let's take these steps to get there, right? So think about this. I want you to honestly, at this moon, let's think about the bigger lunar cycle for a minute. Think back to the Virgo moon that happened in 2019. So think August, September timeframe right there, okay? What were you working on? What was starting to come into your reality where you're like, oh, this might need some adjustment down the road, or oh, I want to do this, or I want to show up this way. Think about that there, okay? Because this is going to be the culmination of that big lunar cycle, okay? Now, let's look at the smaller lunar cycle. From that time in 2019 to this moon that we had in Pisces just last month, what did you feel prepared to surrender about yourself in your world and put it down so that it can become something else? That doesn't mean that you know what that something else is, or maybe you do, but you haven't had the path to get there. Now, this Virgo energy is going to give you the very material in the world path and steps to take to get to that next venture that you wanted to get to, okay? Now, the other influence I want to point out at this particular time, because we can't pretend it's not out there, is all of the heaviness that we've got happening up here in this Capricorn energy, right? Capricorn is this very heavy, it can be a very heavy, authoritative kind of energy. And so a lot of times what comes from the Capricorn energy is this idea of tradition and of structure. It's very concrete, right? And this is what should be happening. This is what it needs to look like. Sometimes we impose Capricorn views on ourselves and we say, I believe I should be doing fill in the blank, or I should look like, or pick the thing that should be happening, right? And it's not a good idea to should on yourself or anybody else, because it's just not very useful, right? But so we're taking on at many of the moons that we're going to experience all the way up until June, this Capricorn energy up in the sky, right? So what's happened is that Pisces moon, you started to shed some things that were maybe going against that Capricorn energy a little bit, where it was like, yes, I know I need to mature. Yes, I know it's time to come to the next level, but I have shown up to give everything that I've got, and I'm out of ideas. What's next? Where do I go next? How do I get out of the fear? How do I get out of the resistance of going to the next place, right? Or how do I assimilate all of that information in order to take it to the next place? So now, from that place of surrender, at that new moon in Pisces, looking at, you know, the wide range of what things should look like, at this Virgo moon, you're going to get the steps to move you forward, to move you into the information that actually needs your attention, the actions that need your attention, and the things that are going to bring you, your work, your home, your spiritual life into the highest level of integrity that is possible for you at this particular point in the journey. So that is something I want you to wrap your head around. You're getting an earthbound helper to take on that maybe Maybe your going forward doesn't look like what the world has said it should look like. Instead, maybe it looks like what you've got going on, what you have to give. Remember that Leo moon that we had that said, what is your special talent? What is your special thing that is unique that you do that shows your heart, your passion, and your fire, and that you're going to add that to the whole, to the mainstream? So now we're keeping up with that, because half the time, in order to be what we really are, what that really big piece of just delicious of us is, we have to put another piece of our ego down in order to step into that. So now we get the steps to be able to do that, okay? Let's talk a little bit more about some of the technical aspects that we see happening at this particular moon, okay? Now, first of all, we talked about the technical aspect of the sun and the moon being in opposition. Ooh, let's make that work. So the sun and the moon are in an opposition here. They're pulling in two different directions. So this is your insides, your outsides. Some kind of polarity is lit up in your world. This could also, depending on the houses involved for you, could be a conflict of you and another person as well, but you're just going in opposite directions. So remember, try and find the compromise in the middle, okay? Now, this moon, even though it's in opposition to the sun right here is traveling in conjunction with Neptune, okay? Now, the sun is over there beaming bright. It's light, heat, life, vitality. We've got our attention really very, very focused, okay? It is very, very focused into this Piscean energy right now. And as it's traveling together there with Neptune, this is a delicious combination because Neptune walks between the worlds and he's very happy. He's very optimistic. There's a lot of bliss that comes with Neptunian energy. So this is happy. This feels positive. This feels fortunate. This feels like, yes, I can be creative. I can be this person who walks between the worlds, and I can be compassionate, and I can be empathetic, and I can be whatever it is that I need to be, and I can be that at a bigger level, right? Whether that be just in your life, if that's in your community, if this is something global that you're stepping into, you have this positive influence that and it feels good. There's a nice harmony here. So as the sun and Neptune are together in their conjunction, you are beaming with Piscean energy. So you see how in this opposition, what could be happening is Virgo is like practical. No. We need some practicality here. Practically, how are we going to do this? And how are we going to do this with the most integrity that's available, right? And then the sun and Neptune are over here. They're like, look, I'm just dreaming it. I'm just imagining it. I'm just getting it together. Oh, this is so good. It's so positive, right? So you're still dreaming, thinking, and don't have the pathway. And this moon over here is like, let's compromise. Because you have to compromise to use an opposition, right? Why don't you bring that dreamy quality? Why don't you bring that thing you've been seeing, that thing you've been feeling called towards, that yearning that's in your soul for wellness, for empathy, for creativity, and I'll bring some practicality. Then we can compromise and make use of this particular moon energy, right? Now there's some other players in the game that are helping out as well. Now, one of them is an aspect we've seen. We've already talked about it. We talked about it in February, right? Jupiter, who's sitting up here beautifully traveling in the energy of Capricorn still. Jupiter is actually still sextile to Neptune. Now, when planets have sex, that's good for us, right? Because it is not only a pocket of opportunity, but you will intelligently use that. You're going to take action. So what you've been doing is, here's the energy of maturing, Capricorn. It should look this way. But it's sextile, it's helpful, it's happy. They're working together with Neptune. So what you've been doing here is recreating your ideals. What are your ideals? I've talked about this in the last couple of videos. What are the ideals and principles that guide your life, right? What do you stand for? What are you about? Who do you want to be when you get up in the morning? Are you still in a place where you've got a lot of judgment going about things, but you're trying to turn that to discernment, right? This is a beautiful quality that fellow astrologers were talking about, and I think it is so applicable at this particular moon. But it is also this energy that brings harmony into what's going on. So our moon has agreed to compromise with our sun. We've got Neptune and Jupiter in a nice harmony, agreeing, saying, yep, let's put those principles into action. Let's bring these principles to the forefront. Let's have a good perspective. This is a positive moon. A good outlook, a good perspective is available to us, and we're going to take some kind of action on that. Now, this moon, Jupiter is not only interacting with Neptune, our moon is also trine Jupiter as well. So when the moon is trining Jupiter, this is again a good feeling. It's very fortunate. It feels good, right? It feels happy. It feels expansive. It feels like, you know what? It is time, and I can, and I will, and I'm ready, and I have a different understanding because now this Virgo moon has shown me the steps. It has said, okay, this is the route forward. So it's a very I can do this kind of energy, okay? So I absolutely love the players that are on deck at this moon to help us accomplish some things. Now I want to point out just one other thing to you because I'm trying to include the asteroids a lot more so you can see the depth of their level of connection in the astrology that we're doing. So up here, up top, we see that we've got not only that transiting south node, which, remember, Mars has just recently come over this transiting south node. So you have likely experienced, I know I have, these feelings of connection to the past. You're thinking about things from the past. You're replaying it. You're seeing it in your dreams. And it's like, I'm supposed to be detaching from this. And it's almost like I feel like the universe has been kind and has said, look, this is not productive for your energy anymore. This is a behavior pattern. This is a thought pattern. This is a person. This is a thing that has ruled your life or been an important piece for a very long time. Trust me to let that go because it doesn't serve you anymore, right? Mars in Capricorn is efficient. He's up there being like, get rid of it. Take it to the thrift store. It doesn't work anymore, right? Let it go. Pass it on. So we've recently had that Mars energy to help us. So again, we're seeing, you're right, Pisces energy, it's okay for me to shed and get a new path forward, but I'm going to travel forward, remember, without this thing that I've been attached to, this idea, this identity, this saying, this victim quality, this whatever it is, this political idea that I have had for a very long time, and now I'm put in a position where it's like, that doesn't fit anymore, okay? Now, the other thing we've got going is Mars up here is in conjunction with asteroid Pallas Athena. Now, Pallas Athena is the daughter of Jupiter, okay? So she's daddy's girl, right? Best dad ever. So Pallas Athena, though, she's over connections. There's different connections that are going on. There's interworking, there's interconnection that's happening, there's a plan, there's a path. There's this idea of justice. Pallas Athena is definitely over the immune system. And excuse me, have we not just seen a fair amount of sickness, coronavirus, opioid crisis happening as well? So Pallas Athena is over all of those kinds of things. But ultimately what she's looking to do is to help us gain clarity on strategy. She is a strategizer, right? She's like, let's get this strategy built down, right? And when I think about Pallas Athena, when she was taught to me with the idea of looking down at a map and you see all those little roads and they look like veins and there are these interconnected things that help you get to the thing you need to get to next. So she is a part of the strategy in conjunction with Mars as well that is going to help us see how to come to the next level, right? This is literally that energy that's like, okay, I'm going to show you the physical steps to take forward. And I'm also going to do it with a fair amount of structure. Mars is still in the energy of Capricorn, exalted, working hard, working for your benefit. So where you are trying to build Pallas, the commander, the strategizer, Mars, the action taker, in Capricorn, the build physical structures, they are working together for your greatest good, and they are working together to try and put a system of success in place for you. So you see how this particular moon becomes so critically delicious to us, because even though I've needed to shed and get rid of this pattern that I've had my entire life, maybe even, and I've had to separate from it, I've been willing to shed and surrender to becoming something else, allow myself to transition, allow my life, allow my house, allow my money, allow my children to transition to something else. Now, to move forward towards this greatest amount of success, this moon will eliminate my pathway. So you see, when we see the players that are in the game, we can see how they're calling to us, and they're calling us to pay attention to certain areas. So how do you really use this? First of all, if you connected with that message, I'm pumped, because I can't wait to see what your manifestations look like and what they've looked like between the moons. Please tell me down below. Also, the way you use this now is you grab your chart. You're going to want to look for 19 degrees of Virgo, definitely 19 degrees of Pisces energy. But if all you do is focus on 19 degrees of Virgo and what house that is happening in your chart, that's going to tell you where Virgo is literally giving you a big old spotlight and saying, hey, focus right here. And I'm going to show you which details we need to take care of, because some of it's minutia, right? Some of it is just noise, but I need you to do this. Or, in your lives, my friends, have you been fighting for your health? Have you been looking for solutions to your health? Have you been looking for solutions to your daily routine? Have you been looking for solutions to your work, your independent work? Have you been looking for the right app, right? Because remember, Saturn's going to jump into the energy of Aquarius here on the 21st of March, right? But it will still be just under this moon energy. So maybe you discover that right app that says, yes, guess what? You really do need to track your mileage, because that matters at tax time. You really do need this app to pre-plan your Instagram, to plan your kids' lunches, to whatever it happens to be. Your structure and your details will be brought right here. And then we can check in at the next moon, since the moons are connected. There's going to be that new moon in Aries. New moon in Aries. You got the information on how to move forward in Virgo, and in that new moon in Aries, you're like, boom. It's not time to think, it's time to act. So we'll have a lot of motion, a lot of forward motion happening here in Mars to help get you to this thing that is next. The only other thing I will tell you, it's this other thing that Gary and I were talking about, and I think it's brilliant. This idea of, maybe what you're doing doesn't feel like it fits the current culture, or it doesn't feel like it fits, like you feel restricted in what you want to do in some way, shape, or form. Remember, Saturn moving into the energy of Aquarius is developing and bringing a whole new culture to the surface. The vibration of our world out here, what you're feeling called to, has a place in what's going to be happening next. And it may be entirely awkward. It may be very different than anything you were thinking you were going to do, or it's something you thought you were going to do all along, and now you're getting your courage feet under you to make baby steps. Remember, Virgo's going to show us step by step. You don't eat the whole cake right now. It's just bite by bite, unless you're Taurus. I'm Taurus. I'm going to eat the whole cake, right? So you get the planning to happen for that next thing. And then you get to know that as we start to experience this Aquarian energy, it will fit. As well, going forward, we're going to begin to move into the Gemini and Sagittarian axes. We're going to get and learn new information and ways of doing things. And we're also going to detach from old ways of thinking, old ways of governing our global communities that don't work anymore. And it's very much so going to be in a group setting kind of way. So here, start your pathway of actual building that material in the world foundation for what's coming next. Allow Virgo to show you what details need your attention. And truly, if you are one of our friends or one of our tribe who is struggling with something in your immune system, or you've been sick, or you've been tired and you haven't been able to put your fingers on why, Virgo is the natural healer of the zodiac, right? So it may be time to do a little bit more investigation into that actual immune system, into the systems in the digestive tract, right? Because you could be thinking, oh, my hormones are going crazy or something like that, and it's not, and it has something to do with maybe in your digestive tract. So keep these things in mind as we travel through this moon. I absolutely love each and every one of you. Thank you for taking a little bit of time out of your day to watch and to see what's going on. And if you're watching in the playback, I appreciate you for watching there as well. Now, I do have some cool things coming up that I want to tell you about just really quickly. First of all, I'm going to have a giveaway coming up next week because we're getting into Aries season. We're getting into spring. We're restarting the astrological new year. So I've got a giveaway for you planned together with a couple people in collaboration. So gifts. Venus must be in Taurus because I'm out here giving away gifts, y'all. So there'll be gifts coming. Watch for that next week. And if you've wanted to or you were interested in doing the Find Your Soul Purpose course with Astrologyhub, we're going to do it again. We've just decided to do it again. We're going to do a webinar on the 25th of March and the 26th. So I will bring you more information on that in this coming week. So stay posted. Watch the community tab. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, I'm going to be putting it up there as well. So it'll be myself, Tammy Brunk, Donna Woodall will be there. It's just going to be a good time of learning. So if you feel like that is something that will help you learn, help you grow, help you go to where is next, we would love to have you over there. So more details on everything to come, but stuff is coming. I love to give you guys gifts anyway. So just keep your eyes peeled. I'll give you all the information as soon as it becomes available, okay? Like this video, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you for your 26 minutes and 15 seconds as I end this. I love you guys. Bye, everybody. Have a great day or night.